Good afternoon, everyone. It's Arthur Bablacy. I'm in the house here in social media land. We're streaming live here on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Wherever you're watching, I want to thank you. And if I haven't wished you a happy and a fantastic or spectacular 2024, my best wishes go out to you. And everyone comes in and talks about the best wishes. Have a great 2024. And sometimes is that creating a false sense of of what life's going to be like. I mean, we all wish the best for people, but let's also be real in terms of what we need to do to be our best. And I think that's what we're here for today. Guys, I want to thank you for being here. Some of you saw a live I did in my group, The Rise of the Aligned Modern Day Healer. You know, they've been in this field of complementary medicine, personal growth, human performance, and in this field of transformation, change, and healing for 3 decades now. I mean, the first program I went to was a Tony Robbins event. It was in Melbourne, Dallas Brooks Hall in 1994. That's 30 years ago was the first event I went to. And, life has never been the same for me in terms of going down this path of learning, healing, complementary medicine, coaching, transformation, NLP, hypnosis, kinesiology, energy work. All these wonderful tools that have served me and served my family and served my clients and served our students. And I mentioned life is a roller coaster. It is. And I think our journey here in life is to be able to, learn the lessons, to overcome the obstacles. If you haven't read a book by Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way, that we learn that it's through the obstacle that we find out who we are and we become better people. And that's how we take that role model mindset and be able to become the person that we want our kids to be able to become the person that leads our family, our community through the era that we're in, the age that we're in. And so we're coming to you today because, I've been blessed over the years doing this work to have come across some amazing people and some amazing souls. And a lot of them actually helped me build the businesses and make the difference that we've had today. And I look back and I think the times where I was my best and my business was thriving and it's holistic, right? Everything's flowing in your life. It's not just one thing. You can't be okay in one thing and not another thing because that's out of balance. And when things are all balanced, it's like I had some great people helping us on this mission. And over the last 5-6 years, we've all gone through a journey, and some of you know my story. And I've been doing quite a bit of work to actually realign again with the reason why I started in this industry 29 years ago now, 3 decades, and reconnect with that North Star, reconnect with that purpose, because this roller coaster ride, it gets you thinking, are you on your right path every now and then? And I did a podcast recently with this gentleman, and when you just meet someone, you just connect with them, you're on the same wavelength, you're on the same on the same tracks, on the same path to the North Star. And we thought, hey, we're on the same mission. We're doing the same thing. Maybe we merge our energies, our forces, our hearts to be able to do what it is that we do. And I'm here with my business is the Conscious Mastery Academy, and I suppose that's giving it away. We got another person on that banner, and we introduced last week Mr. James Buckley had joined the Conscious Mastery Academy. Like, he comes with 22 years experience in this field of healing, complementary medicine, transformation, been ordained as a Buddhist monk in meditation, all the work that he's done the work that we've done in NLP and hypnosis and so forth, and brings out so much to the table with his work, especially with the allied health professionals. And so we decided to actually join forces to make a dent in intergenerational mental health and to build a community of world-class healers, world-class coaches, world-class practitioners who are working from their heart set. We're working connected to the North Star, and they're working with a greater purpose to be able to make a difference. Understand that we all go through our challenges, understand that we all go through our obstacles, and it's how we navigate them that really is a reflection of the type of people that we are. Knowing that we're creating that community where we're going to be doing that together. And so let me bring this person down. We met him last time. Everyone, let's put our hands together for Mr. James Buckley. Oh, where's my sound effects? There we go. James, please stop. Not really one of these. So, we had lots of chats over the last couple of months, and we came live and last week in our Facebook group in our business and let people know that some exciting things that we're doing the Conscious Mastery Academy. You've been 22 years. That's how when you started your journey in meditation, in working with your heart, in transformation and healing, with the journey that you went through, and took on this journey of studying neuroscience and transformation and the unconscious mind, hypnosis, working with adult health professionals, and they're doing some wonderful work in that space with the medical community. I actually went online. I had a look at Dr. Warwick today. I thought, wow, let's saw this podcast you did about hypnosis with him. So quite impressive. And I thought, we had a chat with all. We're on the same track, and how can we merge forces in today's age where you don't do life by yourself. You do it with other people on the same mission, same frequency, same vibration. And we joined forces, as we said, and you're on this journey, the Conscious Mastery Academy. You're bringing in your skill set with the work that we do, the somatic work, the cognitive work, the healing, and really that's what I've been about over the years, combining and put it all together in a unique way. And we've been working that over the last year and put together what we call neurosomatic coaching or neurosomatic dynamics with a specific, unique neurosomatic metric in terms of how do you help someone heal from a cognitive perspective to reframe what may have happened to them so they can actually build a resilience to deal with what's happening in their life, and then how can they release that memory from their body and have it gone so they can energetically be in the frequency to attract what they want in their life. And that's what we've been doing, putting together, and you came along and you gave us the extra pieces, the breath work, the hypnosis, the meditation, and we ran a program on the weekend, guys. We ran a program to some of our students that have been with us for almost, 200 hours of training they've done with us, not just the 3-day course, not just a 5-day course. These guys have done 15, 20 days of training with us and committed to that long in order for them to be certified as a practitioner, and committed to actually 6 months of assessments and 6 months of practice so they know their craft. And we did this on the weekend, and we had such the feedback in terms of the connection, the space where people came from, the breakthroughs that we're experiencing, and the possibilities that opened up were just endless. And we thought, let's have a chat today about, our vision, what is that we want to do. We've been in the industry for, collectively, the two of us, over 50 years. So there's the half a century, still not out. So we're still batting, all right? We're still at the crease. And there's work to do. And why is there work to do? Both of us have seen the ups and downs of this beautiful and wonderful industry that we're passionate about. Both of us have seen the yang and the yin of it. And for me, I got in when it was a very much yin face and gone on a roller coaster ride. And I think today the industry is quite yang. I think a lot of people are quite yang. And it's not a good or bad thing. It's achieving balance within that masculine and feminine. And how do we do it? What's the intention? And I see a lot of coaches and therapists, healers who have come in for the reasons that are important to them to make a difference, and they're just getting caught up. They're just getting stuck. They're getting caught up in survival. They're chasing their tail from one business coach to another, and one system to another, one challenge to another, one funnel to another. And I'm saying that, putting my hand on heart humbly, because that was me. I got caught up with that. I got caught up with my imposter syndrome. 25 years in this field, and it's like, how is that? I'm not comfortable with what I know, right? And because this is technology today, this is the industry today. It's like where things are happening fast, the dopamine hit, people want quick fixes, they're forgetting that they need to do the work, the hard yards. And I keep on coming back and thinking the work that we do, we're working with people's minds, we're working with people's hearts, and we're working with people's souls. So my question and I say this as respectfully and humbly to all the therapists out there, all the coaches, all the healers, all the mindset coaches who may have done a wonderful 3-day course or 5-day course, but think they've arrived with just clearing a limiting belief. And that's how I started. Geez, I thought I arrived too at one stage. That if your loved ones needed a neurosurgeon to work on their mind, or a heart surgeon to work on the heart, or a soul surgeon to work on their spirit and soul. Would you ready to take that up after 3 or 5 days of training? Do you really know your work? Are you competent? Can you really put your hand on heart and say you can come from a level of, you know what, your client comes to see you and you got them? Because no matter what happens, you've got that skill set, you've harnessed that skill set. I see so many people today who they fall into this hubrisness, this false sense of confidence where they've got this skill set, and yet when they get a client, they don't know what to do with them. They haven't mastered the skill. And for a long time, James, this challenged me. It's like, what are my triggers? What's stuff that I need to work with? And well, it's not about focusing what's happening in the world. What do we need to do to clean up our own front yard and be able to serve? And that's why I got excited when you came on board, because the mission was the same. And well, it's going to help me stay on track and do something together. So look, I'm going to go over to you. Let's start a discussion, because I wasn't planning to talk for 15 minutes before you did, but you're really well listening, my friend.
It's perfect. And I just want to say what an honour it is to be working by your side and with you, Arthur. And over the last few months that we've been sharing time together, and especially over the last few days where we've actually engaged with professionals in the field and seeing the reactions and the responses and the information that's coming out of them and what their vision is, I'm truly inspired.
I really got excited. We had a chat today, and you said you got in contact with some of the allied health professionals that you've been working with, and you've mentioned what we're doing and what we've been able to do in the past, and they said, look, let us know, let's get our clients, because what you're doing, that we need people who are who not only have the right vision but have the skill set to be able to help clients who are challenged with a life circumstance, not just stuck in their thinking. We're all stuck in our thinking, right? It's not just changing limiting belief. What do you do when a client comes to you and they're really considering, I don't want to be here anymore. What do you do? What's your duty of care? Depression. I mean, I know you know all the stats you're going to throw. I mean, we're here to create a dent into intergenerational mental health. It's growing. We can't deny that. And it's not a case to just be positive and say, hey, that's all fantastic. Because we know the law of nature, right? You hop into the fire element, be positive, suppresses the metal element. The universe, the consciousness breaks down. The body breaks down. Deep-seated grief, guilt, regret. That's the miasm that our consciousness is experiencing. There you go. I'm talking again. I'm back over to you.
No, it's all good. And look, there's two parts to it. It's a really exciting time. People are desperate and willing to be learning these new modalities and want to have proven neuroscientific processes that help them to resolve the issues that are in their life. And so it is a super exciting time that those allied health professionals are open to that, and they want that and they need that for their clients, because they don't necessarily have the tools. For the 70% of people that walk into a doctor's surgery are there because of stress-related issues. Those doctors are at a dead end, and they know that. They struggle with that. In fact, I see those allied health professionals that are mentally, emotionally struggling with that themselves, and so they want that help and they need that help. And that's the challenge that I see now. Not only do they need that help, but humanity needs that help. 264 million people, estimated by the World Health Organization, are now disabled by depression. It's the leading disability in the world right now, and that's underreported by up to 50%, some professionals have suggested. So there's a
And I want to
need and
say that
requirement.
because that some people would say, okay, well, you're just focusing on the negative. You're focusing on creating a fear scenario. No, we're focusing on the facts.
Correct.
And
What is there?
and because of that, then we're focusing on the responsibility that we have in this field to be able to make a difference and a dent in these facts.
Correct.
Not just look at coming in this field because, hey, it's a booming industry and it's a quick way to make a six-figure income. I can tell you how many students I've had have done work with us, and they end up in this industry. Right? You do a 5-day NLP course and you get certified in NLP. Do you really know the work? Is the question. And they get certified to a certain level, but we hope that they continue with their practice, so you put stuff in, put some tutorials aside for them to practice. They show up or they don't show up, and yet suddenly they turn into business coaches. Suddenly they because they can't actually help people doing what we've been trained to do, to actually help them with their mind, with their heart, and with their soul. They're now a business coach. right? Or even better, they've been in this field for 20 years as a coach. When I've known some people 20 years ago, they were employed in a job. Some people employed in a job like even 4 or 5 years ago, and now they've been a full-time coach for 20 years. Now, let's call it as it is, right? And you know what? I'm comfortable in my skin saying that because 28, 9 years in my own business as a therapist, coach, and healer, being a faculty head at Nature Care College, had my own RTO, being a president of one of the associations. I understand what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Worked for an insurance company in my past life. I understand what goes behind the scenes, right? I feel people's intention, brother. I feel where they're coming from. I think it's about time, it's like, hey, you want to make an honorable living, you want to make a living with dignity, more power to you. But if you're doing it with another intention, not this industry, pick another one.
Please.
Responsibility. I'm standing up. I'm representing this industry because today we've got too many people who are taking advantage of it.
I got into this industry, Arthur, as you know, I shared on the podcast. I lost a girlfriend at the age of 18 to suicide, and I lost many friends to suicide. There was 4 very close friends that I lost to suicide. And so I've been deeply touched by mental health. And that's why I got into the industry, so I could resolve my own issues, so I didn't follow that same path. And it concerns me, people that are doing 3, 5 day courses, and I've done them as well, where you think that you can go and help someone that's suicidal or they've got complex PTSD. And the reality is that that's not the case. We can't be operating that way. There must be some level of standard and integrity of care and duty of care for professionals in the industry that actually want to help people, but they've got the skill set, the experience, and the standard to be able to do that. And that's really what I want to leave behind in the industry. And I think it's needed now more than ever, Arthur. And what we're seeing is deeply concerning. I'm not against anybody. Whatever anybody wants to do is for them, and that's their karma and their consequences. I'm okay with that. But I don't want people to be slipping through the cracks because somebody doesn't have the skill set or somebody doesn't have the competence or the experience to be able to support them when they told them that they could. That's what concerns me more than anything else.
I know. We've all had clients that have slipped through the cracks, and I look back and think, wow, how did I miss that? Where was I coming from? And really, I suppose what we're here for is how can we work collectively as an industry to raise the standards, to reconnect with perhaps the vision and the North Star, the reason why you wanted to come into this field in the first place. Yes, we want you to be successful. Yes, we want you to be able to create a lucrative income. Your income is going to be a reflection of the value that you give. Tony Robbins says business is a spiritual game. It is. You need to work on yourself to get into the frequency and the vibration, understand why you're doing the work that you're doing. But if you're looking at your client as anything else other than being there to support them on this journey, then I question that, because here's what I see a lot of people, and I used to do this myself too, the yang approach to coaching. So I'm there to support them. I'm going to match energy with energy. It's what we taught in network marketing as well too, right? I'll match my energy with energy. So if you put in, I'm going to put in. And so if they don't put in, obviously you're not yet ready yet. They weren't the right ones. They're responsible for their own life. And yet, if they did something with us and they got a great result, we'd be the first to put their hand up and say, hey, it was because they work with us. Here's the review. Here's the testimony. It's fantastic. It's because of me. But when they're not getting the result, they run away. It's not my fault. It's their fault. Well, you know what? As a therapist, coach, or healer, if you want to put your hand up and you want to actually, what's the saying, hop on the coattails of the success of your clients and say it's because they work with you, then hop on the tails of the failures of your clients too and say it's because of you. That's huge, brother. I don't see practitioners do that. We know the rule, right? Or the law, the 80-20%. 20% of your therapists or coaches are probably going to be successful. I look back over the year, thousands of people we trained, probably 20% of them successful. What happened to the other 80%? Part of me saying, well, who was it back then to actually not actually be there for them or just say they weren't the right ones? What could I have done a little bit better? They weren't ready,
Yeah.
right? Everyone's ready. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come to you. But maybe we need to work with him in a holistic perspective. We need to work if we're going to work from therapy and coaching and healing, we need to understand not just the physical, we need to understand beyond. I think that's what we're coming about. We want people to start considering coaching is not just a cognitive approach to healing. Coaching is not just shifting your thinking. Coaching is not just changing belief system. Coaching is not just clearing a sabotage. Coaching is not changing imposter syndrome. So many people say they work with imposter syndrome, and I've yet to hear anyone talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect, the opposite of the imposter syndrome, because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I've yet to hear someone give me the psychology and science behind imposter syndrome. We'll put a masterclass on it together, right? And we'll talk about that. Like, what is actually happening? What is imposter syndrome? And who actually suffers it? You know who suffers it? According to science and the research, it's the people who know the most suffer imposter syndrome. The people who know the least are the ones who jump on their high horse and think they know the most. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect. And because they can't help someone, I'll turn into a business coach. I'll help you define your niche. I'll help you make six-figure income. And yet, how many clients have you had? How many people have you actually helped with their problems? Let's call this shit, right? How many people have you helped with their problems? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because if just helping people make money to make money, somewhere along the line, that's a scam, a multi-level marketing company. I'm not actually... Delete. Multi-level marketing companies aren't a scam, but it's a scam if you're just promoting something which is intangible and nothing's at the end where some people can do something. Somewhere along the line, you're going to have a coach that does something. We want to train coaches that do something. And while they do that, be best in the world, that's how they make a lucrative income doing that. Now, guys, if you're listening and you're triggered, well, more power to you, because I've been triggered for how long when seeing this stuff happening, and I had to grow myself. Right? If you're aligned, if you understand what we're talking about, just wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, because we're streaming in our group, the Rise of the Aligned Modern Day Healer. I'm streaming my personal profile. I'm streaming YouTube and LinkedIn. And if you're thinking what we're thinking, I want you to understand that you're not alone. You, like me, if you've been in this field and you've come in this field and like James, because you want to make a difference, you're not alone. You're probably looking at what's happening in the industry. Why people are just so caught up in the survival, wanting to be able to make a living and then being disheartened it's not working for them because they're disconnected from why they're doing it. Focus on helping other people and it will look after itself. I'm not saying don't look at your business. You need business strategies. You need to put that in place. What comes first? Because if you haven't got something you can deliver on, if you don't know your craft, why start a business? And if you've just got a certification, if you've yet to work with, at least 20, 30, 40 clients and being able to actually know your work, why start a training business? This cookie cutter approach, you come out of a trainer's program, go and put 4 or 5 people in your living room and train people and read out of a textbook. You'll get the textbook if we won't get the life application of these techniques.
It's concerning, Arthur.
Don't get me started because
it's concerning. When we look at the statistics that I mentioned before, humanity's desperately in need for quality coaches that are competent enough to guide them through these challenges that we've all faced. But at the same time, we see a glut of coaches that are coming through that are focused on not helping people, but just how do they build a business. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but there are people out there. We can all see that there's people out there that are really just in it for the money. And that's what concerns me. You should get paid for skillful work, but you shouldn't be learning how to manipulate people into your program and then not be able to deliver on the promise. That's what concerns me. And that's sad for humanity. If humanity needs this, but the coaches that are coming in to get trained are distracted over here trying to build business. And again, you should build business, but money comes as a consequence of you being skillful at your craft. If the best surgeon in the world is hiding in the bush and doesn't want anybody to come and see them, doesn't want to do surgery anymore, people will still go and find that surgeon if they're the best on earth. And that's how business works as far as I'm concerned. I've been blessed that I've always had referrals. I've always had clients and patients that have come to me because they've heard that I'm good at what it is that I do. And it's only because I know how these things work and how that human brain and nervous system works so I can get them to see how magical they are. And I really want that for the industry. The industry needs to be that for humanity. And I think that's the most important thing for me, Arthur. How do we get the industry moving in that direction? How do we get a movement of people that are like-minded like us that actually want to make the industry something that has a positive impact on humanity, not just a parasite?
Yeah, and let's focus, and then on, we've done a lot of away from the first half an hour.
Sure.
Let's go toward from now, right? So we're following our processes. So we've moved away from that. That's happening. What can we do to actually leave our own mark? Well, I think what it comes down to, if you're out there and you connect with what we're saying and you really want to be able to master your craft, you want to find a community where you can, you know what, I want to be able to work with people so I can practice. I want to work with people so I can understand, let's say you've done NLP, or you want to understand how to do a parts integration without looking at the book. You understand you can do a submodality, a swish pattern, all that type of stuff, not just with what's in the book, but understand how you can apply them from a holistic perspective and a lifestyle perspective, and because these are wonderful neurological repatterning tools to actually help affect change, right? You want to understand how you do timeline therapy. How do you introduce breath work within timeline to amplify the results? What about the energetic work, the EFT, the kinesiology, is talking to the body to be able to actually get world-class, first-class results that other people aren't getting? If you want that type of environment, reach out, because that's what we're creating. Because, we're putting together this training, and, we had a class on the weekend, right? For people to be certified as a neurosomatic coach in neurosomatic dynamics, it's not just 5 days or 10 days. It's actually, over 20 days of training plus assessments. It's what we used to do in the past. I look back and I think when I had an RTO, I had my Australasian College of Kinesiology Mastery, and I was blessed to work with my mentor, Dr. Bruce Dew, in ICPKP Australia. We were an RTO, and we had a certificate for and diploma in professional kinesiology. Wow. And there were some beautiful souls that came through that training. And do you know, they had to do 2 years of training with me. We did 20 weekends. All right, so 20 weekends, 1 weekend every month, so 20 months, right? That's 40 days, all right? 20 weekends are 40 days, so about 350, 400 hours of face-to-face. And then they had to do 50 hours of student clinic, seeing clients, being supervised to know the work before they got their government-accredited diploma. Now, the people who came out from that training are still working, doing some wonderful stuff, they've built their own communities, and they're helping people heal with that stuff. And I think, wow, I look back and there were some wonderful days. What can I take from those days? How can I take from that and introduce some of those things into the coaching space today? How can we bring that? A lot of people say, hold on, no, we want people to get through quickly because that's going to help us with churning and getting more people and make more money. Well, sure, that's true. And more power to you. I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm just putting it out there. If you're going to be in this field, do you want to be someone who's just done it quickly and be able to make a six-figure income, or do you want to be in this field because you know your work? And I'll put my hand up and say, you know what? I'll be the first one to keep on learning. At one stage, I thought I knew it all, and that was the downfall of me. Right now, my heart's open. Rumi says, allow your heart to be broken over and over and over and over and over and over and over again to remain open. Brother, it is open. A white belt mentality, that's it. I'll go in every room I want to learn, but I'm also going to express myself and my opinion because I want to make you okay to express your opinion, right? And we've got a mission to be able to train world-class therapists, to create a community of people who integrate this wonderful work, whether you've done NLP, whether you've done hypnosis, whether you've done energy work, kinesiology, body work, breath work. How could you integrate all this in one suite, in a process where really will make you a trailblazer, really will separate? That's true authority, right? That separates. Your authority isn't just because you got a best banner on Facebook or just because you got the most likes. People recognize themselves because, hey, I got 999 viewers on my video. I got all these people looking. And so if you, Robin Sharma says, right, if the likes and the awards and all the things outside of you is what you need to actually feel good about you, then there's a hole inside of you. And so I get that. I had that hole once. I had to work at plugging it. And because it's plugged, man, you know when you've reached a point in your life where you think, fuck, man, give me your best shot, life. Is this what you can give me? Right? If you feel you've reached the lowest of the low, then you got nothing to lose. Now, I got this tat here at a time in my life where I needed that trigger. Malon there, it's a Greek saying from King Leonidas to the Persians, when they said, surrender your arms, come and get them. It's not about arms, but it's about, if you want something from me, come and get me. And I was thinking to life, if you want something from me, come and get me. It's like, I need to rise up. And for me, that's a trigger for everyone out there. You know what? If you want life, you got to get life, right? And you're going to get out of life what you put in. It's karma, brother. All right, you say that, right? And we know the law of rhythm. It's a universal law, law of rhythm, law of vibration, and the pendulum effect. Right now, the coaching industry swung so much on this side. Nature says it's going to swing back. And when it does, there's a therapist and coach and healer, are you prepared? Because it swung so much on the yang coaching, which is fantastic because it's made everyone aware. It's made everyone stand up and listen and say, hey, there's something here. But now as it swings back, are you prepared to actually do this work as well too? It's like nature sorts itself out. It does.
Indeed. And I really want to make a call out to anybody that is resonating with that with what we're saying in the industry. I really want to make a call out to those people to say, we want to talk with you. We want as many people that are on board with maintaining and improving the integrity and honor of the industry as we can, because that's why I'm in it. I love the industry. I love what it did for me. I love what it's done for the thousands of clients that I've worked with and continue to work with on a daily basis, even today. I want that for everybody, and humanity needs that. So if that's aligning with you, if you're really feeling that and resonating that, then jump in the conversation with us. Come along in the ride
Yeah.
with us. We've got nothing to sell you. We're here to really edify the industry in the way that it should be, in the way that the masters have set it up for us to be able to
Yeah,
take from
and I
here.
love what you said there. We got nothing to sell you. We do have a rabbit hole. We've got a place for you to actually sharpen your saw. So we got something to give you. Because if you're serious about wanting to come in this field, come and do some work with us. You know what? If you're already a therapist, coach, and healer, I'm going to say it here live. If you're already certified in one of these crafts, if you're already an NLP practitioner, if you're already a hypnotherapist, come and do my training. I'm not going to charge you. Come and do it for free. Come and sit in it. Get a life application as opposed to a textbook application of the material. And come and sharpen the saw and become the therapist that your clients deserve. If you don't have time, that means you don't have time for your clients. What else can I say,
Wow,
James?
that's amazing. I'm
People
really
charge $3,000
touched
or
by that.
$4,000 for NLP training, and they say they're the number one trainer in the world. They've been training for 20 years. That's okay. They can say that. We don't need the accolades. I've been doing it for 28 years, and we train thousands of people, right? And I'm comfortable for you to come in and learn something that you haven't learned. Come and do our training and actually get exposed to positive psychology, get a certificate. You know what? If you're an NLP practitioner, come and do our 5-day NLP training and be certified in positive psychology, because no one else does that as a positive psychology coach. That's on us because you're serious about investing your time making a difference. You need to be certified. We want to honor the fact you've already invested in yourself. We want to honor the fact that you actually already done the work. If not, and you want to do the work, reach out to us because we're going to have something for you, because we want to make a difference. A lot of people don't do this work, which should be a staple in people's education, right? Everyone that finishes just that first program, which is the NLP program, says they should teach this in schools. We just recently had a couple of school teachers in our program. They go, oh my God, how do we get it into the school, right? And the reason why people don't do it is, number one, not affordable, $3,000 or $4,000, right? People are charging $4,000 for a program, and I look at the program, poor, you know what? Close the book and teach it without the book. If you can teach it without the book, and you can tell your life stories, right? And you can do it with passion, and you can do it because you've embodied the work as opposed to just reading the work, then I'm going to come and learn from you. But if you can't do that, No, I get it, because I was you when I started back then 20 years ago. I would read from the book and had to face the guys of me 20 years ago. But now I'm the guys of me 20 years ago, and it's our time to actually make a difference in the industry.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I want to say that competence is what breeds confidence. And I know that there's a lot of people that are
well, that's
suffering
the
a lack
research.
of
That's the
confidence.
research.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
think, let's become a confidence coach, but confidence actually comes from competence.
That's right. It's a consequence.
100%. Confidence is a consequence. It's a result of being competent, because when you know you can do something, you've got the confidence to do it. The only reason people are unconfident within themselves is because deep down they know they can't do the work. What do I do if someone comes to see me? Shit, how do I do a parts integration? How do I do a hypnosis? Oh, I don't read scripts. I'm not one that reads scripts. I just, I do that. I just do it conversationally. So I just make it up. No, I'm sure you get a result. I'm being, tongue in cheek, but I've paid my dues to be where I'm at, guys. And so I'm prepared to, Alexander the Great. What made Alexander the Great great? Because as a man, a lot of people in his biography said that it wasn't necessarily a man that inspired people by the man that he was, but he inspired people for what he stood for. And that when he was with you, he had your back. Because here's what Alexander the Great did. How did he inspire his army to follow him over across Micro-Asia? He walked up to them and he ripped off his shirt. We're not going to do that in
Not today.
Not today. Ripped up his shirt and he showed them he did not have one wound in his back. All the wounds were in the front of his body. He said, follow me, because I'll never turn my back on you. I think that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Follow us. If you're serious about being competent, if you need help, if you want to be able to, yes, please do your business training and business coaching. It's important to have those things. We have them. We've done them, right? But I've been caught up in the shining light syndrome at the expense of continuing to learn. And when I went back to continue to sharpen the sword, things just opened up.
Yeah.
Because that's what the unconscious mind is. If you close the loop and you think you've learned it all, well, that's why you're having a trouble with your business.
Yeah.
And if you work hard, you can hustle to make $1 million, guys. You can hustle to make $1 million. Anyone can squeeze a square peg in a round hole by hustling. And when you get there, I can tell you 9 out of 10 people say, I'm still a square peg. Just because you fit in a round hole doesn't make you a round peg. You haven't done the work to become a square peg, to actually be aligned, to actually attract that and keep that in your life. And how many people do you know that make that and lose that, or make that and it's not really for them? I never thought it was meant to be. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be, that life. Or they lose themselves on the journey to that. So if you're feeling like you're losing yourself on your journey and you need some support, you need a community, you want to be able to come in and come in a group who focuses on your craft, who focuses on sharpening the sword, focus on your techniques. We're here for you, right? We're not going to be here to say you got to go do more training. We're here so you can focus on your craft. We're creating that community. Let's do some practice. There's so many people out there who just create communities to actually make money. Great. Be in that community, but also join another community to actually focus on your craft, because your income will never, ever, 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 ever outperform your psychology and your skill set. All right? So if you leave your skill set alone, then when someone needs your help, you not be able to help them. Well, I'm still honing in on my skill sets. I still have mentors. I still have teachers. I still go to invest in doing classes, and yet so many people have stopped investing, learning their craft. They're spending all their money in their business. You need to put your money in business, but at the expense of your craft. What's the point? Build a business. What are you going to do if you don't know how to do it? And if you're not going to do it, great, please choose some other industry. And we'll support you with that, right? See, that's what happened with, industry being not regulated many years back to being regulated to now being deregulated again, all right? And so that's what comes with that territory, and no need to be an RTO anymore and do this accelerated learning to get people out there quickly. But that also breeds a lack of competency and lack of skill set. And for me, I thought, man, that's what everyone's doing. I got caught up with, I've got to do what everyone else is doing. No, I'm going back. You want to become a therapist? Going back to actually what got results. 12 months of training and assessment. And if you're not ready for that, that's okay. No, it is what it is. You make a decision where what type of coach you want to be, what type of therapist you want to be, what type of healer you want to be, how well do you want to know your work. Because if you really think you know it well, let's get on a call together and we'll have a chat. And if you can go through all that work to a level of competency, man, I'll come and enroll in your courses, hands down. Just tell me a fee and I'll pay it. But if you can't, you have a decision whether you want to stay as a true imposter or master your craft. What can I say, man? I'm bringing it out, and it's in the open.
What can I say? There's not much more I can add to that, Arthur. That's where it's at, and I deeply resonate with that, brother. That's why we're here and aligned together.
So that's why we wanted to come today, guys. I know it's probably just us speaking from the heart, as we said, 50 years combined experience for an industry that we're passionate about, industry that we love. We've seen so many wonderful stories and some wonderful healings, and lives have changed with people. One story I remember, it's like a girl came in to do some work with us, and she was pregnant, and she wanted to do some work on her dog. That can we clear her dog going through depression because she was having a baby and the dog was feeling that it wasn't going to be. So we did some energetic work on the dog, and I'll tell you, the stuff that came up with her and her sister and the dog and the unborn baby, you might think this is woo-woo, but if you're thinking you're getting it, you're, my God, finally the right place, all right? And, after they had the baby, sent me photos, baby, dog, all family being happy, because they were prepared to do the work with someone who's prepared to do that work, I suppose. I mean, that's weird stuff, but, look, I might do the woo-woo stuff, but man, you're working with people who have got life-threatening diseases. They're stage 4 cancers, my friend. They're and they're coming to you to help them with the work that you do with hypnosis and the breath work and the meditation to be able to not only get into remission, and you've had some great stories there, but be able to live the last part of their lives in comfort as they transition over. How many people know how to handle someone with care in that stage in their life? Because I tell you what, that ain't a sabotage that you just clear and change a limiting belief at that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not ready. I don't know how to do that. They're not my clients. That's not my niche. Okay, so your niche is other coaches and helping them build a business because you can't actually help anyone. Seriously. Every coach out there is helping other coaches build another business. Seriously, give me a call and tell me what actually you can do. Tell me the clients they've actually helped. How have you helped other clients outside of building a business as a coach? Because then you're falling into business coaching as your own defense mechanism, as your own psychological response. That's your trauma response.
100%. And you can only help somebody in those situations if you understand the miraculous machinery of the brain and body and how it works on a very fundamental and scientific level. If you don't understand that, then you can't transfer that knowledge and that understanding to your clients so they can have that experience. And so that's where the competence is so important, so that those people don't slip through the cracks, Arthur, because that's what concerns me more than anything else. People are genuine. When they come to a coach, they are genuine and in desperate need for what it is that they've come there for. And if somebody doesn't have the competence to support them and hold that space for them and the knowledge and experience to guide them through that journey, then they shouldn't be there. That's just the truth.
So that's what we want to do. We want to be able to help people become more competent. And we're not going to create a false sense of confidence, all right? We're not going to pat you on the back and say, you got this, awesome, you're fantastic, and
here's your certificate.
Or here's my program so I can help you build a business because that's how I make money. No. If you're serious and you want to know how to do your work, just give us a call because we're creating a community where people can come wherever they've learned to actually learn their craft. And if you feel you're learning something, you'll stay. Here's what I've learned, man, and I've learned it. I went to the hard way. It's nature's way. I learned it the natural way.
Yeah.
People will stay with you as long as they believe they can learn with you and grow with you. The moment they feel they cannot learn with you anymore or grow with you, then they'll leave you. And you know what most coaches do? Because they fear people leaving them, they change the way we work with them. I've got something else for you to work with. And I say they slot into business coaches.
So true.
So yeah, if you want to focus on your craft, guys, whatever it is that you learn, yeah, let us know. Put us in the chat. What have you learned? Rowena's in the room. She says, talk to her students about competence and confidence. Awesome. Thanks, Rowena. Now, that's someone who's been in this field for 22 years and still seeing people back to back to be able to make a difference. Some people say, that's crazy. You want to work less and make more money. Create leverage. Laptop lifestyle. Well, you know what? If you're the person, you got the archetype of the wounded healer, as Carl Jung said. You've gone through your journey, and you know your path on his earth is actually to help other people heal. You're comfortable working with people. You're comfortable seeing them. You're comfortable working your 8-10 hours days because it's not work, it's service.
That's right.
It's not a 9-to-5 mentality when you're doing this. You're serving humanity.
That's right.
And you just put everyone in trance with it. That's right. You're putting me in that in trance. Right, nodding your head. Oh my God, what are you doing? You're getting unconscious before here, James. All right.
Ripple effects.
We're going to have some fun. So yeah, Callum's saying some deep threads here. They are, Callum, I know we're on the same wavelength. We've had these discussions there. And I think more people need to talk about it. And more people need to stand up. But you know what? In the past, I was afraid to stand up and speak up too. I thought, I'm going to be, wounds on the front of the chest, man. What are you going to do? What are you going to take from me? I know where my intention is, right? I know what I'm here to do. I'm here to actually help people want to make a difference. I'm here to actually holistically, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually embrace all these ways of working with people and do it in a way. And man, I'm the first to say, maybe I'm talking from a charge perspective. Maybe let's call it passion, all right? Right? But I'd say in the past it was charged, but I had to do a lot of work myself to be pono with it, or porno with it, as the Hawaiians say, to be okay with it. It's only when you can be okay with it, you can speak up and say it. A lot of people, when they speak up and say it, you can see it's still on the way from, there's a lot of charge in there. It's like quite masculine in energy. And I was like that too, but it's the feminine that heals. It's the feminine that nurtures, right? The masculine is polarizing, and polarizing gets you a big bank account, right? And if that's what you're on the planet for, just to live a good life, good luck to you, more entitled. But if you're here to make a difference, if you're the wounded healer, the archetype, because this is the problem with the coaching, right? The healer entrepreneur, the healer archetype and the entrepreneur archetype, and both of them coming from their wounded self, the wounded healer and the wounded entrepreneur. And how you merge those to be able to help the healer make a difference, earning an income with dignity that they deserve, which is a reflection of their energy and their spirit, doing the work that they do. And that comes from you being confident with the work. Never stop learning the work. Never stop mastering your craft. 10,000 hours, Anders Ericsson said, is become a master of your craft. You know what 10,000 hours is? It's 3.5 hours a day for 7 days, a week, a month, a year, 10 years. Whatever you've been doing for the last 10 years, 3.5 hours a day is what you've mastered, right? So if you've only been in this field for 5 years, you need to have been doing it for 7 hours a day, every day. Like Milton Erickson, right? From 1920 to 1980 when he passed away, he would see about 9 to 10 people a day, consistently. Do you think he knew something about hypnosis? Of course he did, right? And so he didn't create a passive, he's created an empire now, a legacy. So if you're here because you want to create a legacy, I know we might be rambling, or this wasn't scripted. We just want to come and talk.
Straight from the heart.
Yeah, publicly, and, let the pigeons loose, as they say, wherever things land. You know why? Because I'm confident in the tools I have and the work I've done and what I've been able to accumulate to be able to navigate the obstacles of life. And I see a lot of people, they don't have that competence, and they create a false confidence to get through, that hubrisness, right? And if anything, that's the true imposter, because they're afraid of being found out, right? The ones who keep on learning because they're never good enough, their imposter archetype is not being good enough. But the ones who are on the high horse, hubris, Dunning-Kruger effect, is like, I'm afraid of being found out, then I'm a fraud. So I'll teach imposter syndrome to
I think
subs.
what's really important is that we we understand that through the pandemic, there's been a real trigger for people to need to survive. And
Yeah.
that's the very essence of what the pandemic was, is that our life can be gone like that. And I believe that that has triggered a survival response
And people lost
across the
people
planet.
close to them just like that in the pandemic.
That's right. And not just across the planet, not just everyday people, but in our industry as well. And that's what I see. And there's a way that we can heal that. There's a way that we can guide ourselves out of that as individuals, which we must do. And as we do that, then we carve a path for others to do the same.
Mm.
And so I want to call out to those that may be stuck in that survival mind, thinking that they have to really fight or run to achieve their goals, that that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to come from the heart, is to come from the higher cortical regions of the brain, to come from a higher level of thinking and a higher level of being. And that's how we can liberate ourselves, and that's how we can help our clients, our patients, and the industry.
And as we're having these conversations, we're getting love hearts from Rowena. There's another beautiful soul there. Like we've had conversations recently the last couple of days and a couple of messages today, and there's someone else with over 20 years of experience who wants to join this movement. Imagine 3 of us coming together, 70 years of experience to actually help people master the craft with her skill set, your skill set, what we've been blessed to be able to come across, to really be there for people and knowing, when you're good at what you do, people will come to you. You don't need to have a funnel. Right?
That's right.
Have one, even better for you. Absolutely.
Sure.
Work on it then,
Sure.
right? That'll amplify your results. Please. I'm not saying don't do it. But if you're doing that first, right? Rowena's saying she can't wait. If you're doing that first, then just think about, are you congruent with that? Is that really your spirit and your soul speaking? What is your North Star? What is your calling? Because when you hear the frequency of the call, when you tap into that resonance of the call, then that's what not only liberates you, but hey, you got some work that you got to do. And it's not work. You understand your purpose of being on the planet. Yeah, it's interesting because I talked about this to you, James, right? Like, I'm 59 this year. Shit, man, over the last 4 or 5 years, I kept on saying I'm 55. I didn't want to say how old I was. It's like they were my issues, right? But I'm not even 59 yet. I'm 58. I'm saying I'm 59 this year. So I'm 58, turning 59 this year. And it's probably the first time, and I'm going to be here a long time, but it's the first time I actually looked ahead and thought about my business, not just a business to do what I love to do and have a living, but actually thinking about the business, what am I going to leave behind? What's the purpose of doing this? My dad was 85, 86 when he passed away. It's only 25, 26 years away. I was married for 25, 26 years. How quickly did that go? Like, shit, what am I going to do in this part of my life? What am I going to stand for? And it's interesting because we know we don't think of that at 40. We don't think of that at 30. We don't think of that at 20. We think about what's important to us at that time, whatever it is. But for the first time in my life, it's like somehow, and I'm going to be here a long time, I'm telling you, by letting go, and you've made the saying before, but people live as if they never will die, and they die as if they never would live. And the secret is to not to be afraid of dying. Tell me the quote, my friend. You got the quote.
Well, those that are afraid of dying are actually afraid of life, and they're running away from life. If they're afraid of death, death is just a part of life, the same as birth is. It's a cycle. And we live in a culture that actually thinks that death is taboo. And so we're all unconsciously guided away from thinking about something that's so important.
So, it's the first time really, like at Christmas this year and in the new year, I thought about, like, I wasn't afraid of what was coming. And it opened up a world of possibilities for me.
That's right.
How many more years do I have left? 10, 20, 30, 40? What do statistics say? My mind, I'm here past 100, right? But it got you thinking.
Yeah.
And that's what got me excited. And if that's the work we got to do, then we got to make, we got to stand for something. And I'm standing for the industry. I'm representing the therapist and coach and healer who's in this, came into this industry because they want to make a difference, came because they connected to something inside of them. They might have had a healing themselves. They went and saw a practitioner, therapist and healer. They might have gone and seen Rowena. I know Rowena's got a lot of these clients. She sent them to us to learn NLP, right? Maybe they had an experience and they said, you know what, I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to do this. Well, I look back when I started 28 years ago and working at Nature Care College, like all these wonderful people here in this room, a lot of people came in because of that, right? It was this nurturing thing, this healing thing. Let's explore about the mind, body, the energy, the spirit, our existence. We moved away from that era one of medicine, the mechanistic approach of medicine, to era two, the mind, body. We're moving now to era three. Larry Dawson knew that in his book, Reinventing Medicine, 2001. In the non-local healing, the energetic and metagenetics, what's the vibrational energy of not just your environment, your physical environment, the planet Earth, but the cosmic energy, the vibration, as above, so below. We talk about how can you learn from that to understand what your purpose is. So we've incorporated all these learnings that I would never imagine in the past into what we do now, which is elevated, I suppose, the excitement, the call, what is that we do, and the experience that people have with us, and think, you know what? If there's a therapist and coach who wants that experience, let us know. Just jump in if you're already certified. Seriously. If you're looking for that community to actually work together, your family, join us, right? Come and sharpen the saw. And if you're in this industry and you're feeling, you know what? I haven't learned this yet. I don't know how to do this, and you got caught up in some other path, reach out to, we're here to support you. That's all I'm here to, not that's all I'm here to say, there's plenty to say, but that's what I want to express today, and what I want everyone to know. Really, Conscious Mastery Academy, he's exactly that. Freud, Jung, the lineage. Jung said, unless you make the unconscious conscious, it'll control you, and we'll call it fate. So if you feel like your life is out of control, if you feel that this is fate, these are the cards that life has dealt you, right? If you feel that's my lot, that's not for me, I'm not the lucky one, or I'm not the smart one. Sure, people say that's limiting belief, shift it, great. That's more than just a limiting belief. It's a miasm that might be traveling through your generations. And if you don't get that yet, then maybe you'll come back another time to learn that. And when you get to understand that, well, I suppose you'll get to understand it. Whenever it is, it is. It's just like I didn't understand it when I didn't understand it. But this is the work that we do. So if you're gravitating towards that, help us to help you, to help humanity. Let's extend Jerry Maguire's quote, help me to help you, to help humanity. We have a bit of fun doing what we do as well too, right? So
love it, Arthur.
We love our tech. We position ourselves as becoming the virtual training institute worldwide. Our mission is to actually break down the borders. And the beautiful thing that technology has given us is an opportunity to bring therapists and coaches, healers from all over the world into the one room. I've done trainings in the past where we've had 150 people in a theatre, right? And you're on stage. And you got 150 people in a room, you got maybe 10 rows or 15 rows of 10 people, and you got the people on the 15th row all the way back, like they got the last row seat. You know what the online space gives you? An opportunity, 150 people have a front row seat to you. Everyone has a front row seat. You just need to have the technology to be able to give them the experience, and I think that's what we enjoy, that's what we master, that's what we do with everything that we do here, which we're going to set you up with all this tech as well, my friend, so we can deliver a masterful experience, so people can say, yes, we can learn online. Yes, we can make a difference. If I'm going to coach someone online, I need to be able to learn online, right? Yeah, it's interesting when the pandemic hit, right? Let's talk some reality as well too. Pandemic hit. A lot of people learn NLP face-to-face from trainers, and the trainers said, you can coach people online. And then pandemic hit and said, unless you do face-to-face training, you can't be certified. You can't teach online. I'm confused. If you're allowing them to actually coach online, if they haven't learned how to coach online, they coach face-to-face, How's that out of integrity? If you're saying someone can coach online, that means someone can learn online. So, associations have to change that. Look, who runs the associations? What is an association? I'm grateful for them because we need some sort of bodies to provide some sort of
Standard.
well, yeah, what's the intention behind it? What's the purpose? So we trust that because people look for leadership. People look to be able to follow. And I suppose that's what we're creating here. If you're looking for some sort of leadership or something to follow for you to master your craft with people who've been in this field, not for 1 year, 5 years, or 6 or 7 years, but for collectively 50 years. Rowena's going to join us doing some stuff, another 22-year journey for her, plus, I think, the work that she's done. And more people are coming in now. You put 4 or 5 people in a room, we're going to be talking about 120 years of experience in health, wellness, spirituality, personal growth. Choose. Because I want to leave you this. So there's a client, and client has a challenge. And possibly it's just mindset, hypothetically. So this is a wonderful coach over here who's a beautiful person who does wonderful mindset stuff. That's their lane. Well, they learnt more, but that's all they do, mindset stuff. And there's another wonderful coach over here, just as beautiful as this person, does exactly the same mindset stuff, but they're also trained and competent in a holistic approach to the human being, to the human soul. Not just mindset, but soul set, heart set, energetic set. And as competent as the other person. They both provide the same mindset stuff, but this person has got more in their bag. Who would you go to? Choose. If you would go to this person, awesome, fantastic, more power to you. I'm not going to say you're not the right person. You are where you need to be, because that's where I was wherever I needed to be back then. But if you know there's more and you want more for your family, you want more for your kids, and you stand for more, then you have a responsibility to actually continue to grow yourself over here. And if not us, fine. Find someone to do it. But it's not just your business. It's your craft. It's your skill set. You've got a responsibility. You've got a duty of care. I want to shout that from the rooftops. Anything else you want to say, James? Because obviously we've been an hour, so we're going to be here for an hour. We got a lot of feedback in some different Facebook feeds, and we might get back to them later on. But we might come on next week, whether we do a masterclass next week or do one of these things, and let people know what our thought is on the cognitive approach to healing from our experience. What's the experience that we had by helping people to cognitively release the trapped energy, the emotions, reframe what's happening to them, because that's what it is. The neurological, the cognitive approach to healing is the reframe. It's cognitive behavior therapy. That's really what psychology is, right? But we know science also shows, guys, I want you to understand that. There's science and research, and James will let us know, to prove that you can cognitively release and or change your perception of a specific event. However, the memory of the event, and it's not so much the memory, but the actual neuropeptides, the chemicals or hormones that were released during that event, are still locked in your cells of your body, which may be triggered with some other things over here. And so people say, well, I clear this work, but if it's still locked in your body, you haven't released it completely in order for you to actually walk forward being congruent as a spirit. So if you want to learn how to do that, the complete neurosomatic release. A lot of people do a lot of somatic work, which is awesome, but then they don't get the cognitive approach. They don't have the understanding and the meaning, all right, because then their perception's still an old thinking. They've released it, but what does it mean for me, all right? So what if you released it from the body and you cleared it cognitively? And the fact is, timeline therapy is a cognitive approach, guys. It's not a somatic therapy. 100%. It's a reframe. It's in the book, page 21. All right. It's the reframe that allows for the person to collapse that emotion. However, we can show you the research, it's not released from the body yet. What if you're able to combine that with a somatic release? Maybe with some breath work. What about some tapping? What about maybe some kinesiology, some vibrational medicine, doing pendulum work, doing maybe huna, maybe using sacred symbols and things like that, some energetic work, bringing something else into it. anyway, we said 1 hour, we can go another hour, but maybe that's the now for next week. Why don't we next week come together and talk about the different approaches that are available to people, and maybe where they can search. We've got some stuff, but we don't have everything. There's a wonderful saying, Hawaiian saying. We've been saying it, right? We've been saying in our class over the weekend, and let me repeat it, right? I attempted to repeat it once, and I got tongue-tied in saying
It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one, but the saying is this, guys: think not that all wisdom is in your school. It's an ancient Hawaiian saying, and it's "Ohe pauko ike kuhalau." So we 100%. We understand not everything is at this school. The intentions here, the heart set's here, and you know what? We're still on the journey to be able to explore what else is there. And I'll be the first to say this isn't everything. But if you already think you've learned everything, well, we'll see you next week. I don't know. You want to finish up, James?
Yeah, look, the only other thing that I'd say is after our conversations over the last few months, Arthur, the quote that really resonates for me is those who plant trees under the shade of which they'll never sit have somewhat started to understand the meaning and purpose of life. And if that resonates with anyone out there, then we want to hear from you. We want to work with you. We want to support and empower you to be the best that you can be and create a community that actually shifts the industry into the integrity and the honor of which it comes from.
With the work that they do. Guys, thank you so much for listening to both James and myself. James, I'm looking forward to doing some work with you. There's a lot of stuff that we can do. And just from what happened on the weekend with the group that we're in, the dozen or so people that were so excited about the work, just the energy was awesome. They were cantillating. We're just it wasn't work. It was just, you can do that all day because you're just aligned, right? So we'll be coming to you more often, guys. If you want to know more, if you're not in our Rise of the Aligned Modern Day Healer, hop into that group. We'll be doing some master classes. We've got some people call it what is. Okay, now let me talk business stuff, right? Because you need to build your business. I'm not saying don't do that stuff, but you need to have a product and know how to work with it to be able to make a difference. We will have a 3-day masterclass / challenge / workshop / we're going to give you as much as we can. I'm not going to give you an empty workbook and just give you enough so you can come into my programs. James and I, in that 3 days, we're going to dump so much more information, right? So you can actually see the big picture. So if you want to understand this neurosomatic stuff, we'll let you know about this masterclass, Coaching Mastery Secrets. Number one, what's the one secret that white coaches aren't not where they want to be yet? And I'll give you a tip. It's not mindset. And it's not your funnel. What's the one reason why you're not where you want to be yet? And you might say, yes, you, but what aspect of you? Right, we'll go through that. We'll really unpack what imposter syndrome is with the science, the four quadrants that you go through, which show you the graph of the Dunning-Kruger effect and where you go into the valley of Mount Stupid and valley of despair and an enlightenment period. That's what the science shows in terms of psychology, the journey that we go on. And so we'll go through that. And then we're going to share with you the model of neurosomatic dynamics, the matrix. How do we create not just a cognitive awareness with a detailed personal history, a somatic awareness by asking certain questions to understand the mind, body, based in Chinese medicine and Huna and everything else, and also cosmic awareness, right? Understanding as above, so below, your numbers, your chart, really to understand you before we actually do some work with you. And then we do the clearing, an integrated approach to clearing all the work that you've learned. We're going to help you integrate that. And then how do you design your life? How do you craft? How do you become the architect of the rest of your life? How do you put together a 10-year vision, an avatar, which is, truly embodies who you are destined to be from the moment that you were born and what it is that you need to do in an aligned action to get there. It's a truly transformational process, guys. This is what we provide in our neurosomatic dynamics, and we'll give you the cognitive stuff, we'll give you the somatic stuff, we'll give you the energetic stuff. Come to those 3 days. If you want more, we're here. Those 3 days, though, we're going to elevate what you're ready to do right now, 100%. And we'll let you know more about it next week. But anyway, that's what we've got for you today. Otherwise, we'll be another hour. We're going
Easily.
It's only been an hour and 10 minutes.
It's pretty good. Straight from the heart, Arthur. I love it.
So, guys, thank you so much. We'll let you go. I might put some music on. James, thank you. We will see you very soon. We'll come to you guys. Well, you probably can't hear me with the music. We'll come to you guys again very soon. We'll let you know about the masterclass and the challenge and a lot of great things which are coming up. And yeah, just stay tuned. Really appreciate you. And I mean that when I say it. It's not just me giving an emoji and, oh, that's another story, mate. I fell in that trap. I'm going to talk about this one. I fell in that trap, right? I fell in that trap getting appointment centers and getting people post on behalf of me. How's that integrity? That was my shit I had to deal with. How many people, like I sent people post something and I put a message there and you get a message not from them, you get a message that everyone else gets from their VA. I've got a beautiful VA and I learned very early on the lesson that when my VA responds, she says, hi, this is Patricia here. Hi, this is someone else here. Arthur's mentioned this, we'll get to you, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to make out as if I'm someone else. I'm not creating fake profiles online so I can build my business, right? Where's the integrity there? Where's the intention? It's a marketing tactic, I get that. But what's the intention behind it at the end of the day? And if you think I'm talking about you, you're probably right, I'm talking about you, all right? Mate, you've lit the fire, seriously. I told you, it's in my charts. All I need is someone to actually help me fly and we'll fly together. You know what I mean? It's like, what do we got to lose? And you told me, brother, you said you're built for this. So then get ready for the journey because, you know, if you've seen What Dreams Might Come by Robin Williams, the movie, you guys know what we're talking about. And if you have, then perhaps this is the environment for you.
Yeah.
If you've seen that movie and if you haven't, watch it. It's a 20-year-old movie, right? What Dreams May Come by Robin Williams. And so, yeah, you know, how many people post on behalf of someone else and it's like you put a general reply and you think, oh, they're connecting with you? No, it's the same message as everyone else. It's just a ploy. And it's okay, well, unless they have a chat sequence and then I'll talk to them to get them into my funnel to do something else. I got caught up with that, brother. I really did. And you know what? I was embarrassed because actually, you know, I had egg on my face. They were talking to people who they're on you, my friends. Hold on a second. And it's now me too, like some people who've been my students, I'm sending them messages and they're sending me messages, hi, love. Oh, really? Come on. We've had lots of conversations and this is your reply. This is not you. Maybe tell your VA or your appointment setter that these people here. I don't know. This is what's happening in the industry, you understand? Social media is about to connect people, a social environment, as opposed to making it a business environment to be able to, well, that's our yellow pages today. That's our prospecting day. That's our knocking on the window today. We don't knock on, you know, I used to sell typewriters about 40 years ago. We used to walk on the pavement, walk into store by store by store to sell a typewriter. What's a typewriter, right? New sales tactics. Let's knock on the door with a VA, give you an emoji. Love, heart. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. Great. Thanks. Okay. Somewhat special. Everyone's the same. And if I did that to you in the past, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you for making me a better person. I love you. But from that, we take the energy to actually make a difference in the future.
Here we are.
Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you very soon. We got to go, otherwise we'll be here. Not that we got to go. I mean, we can stay, but I'm happy to stay. Let's just say we got lots of love hearts from different people. Thank you guys for actually just being and supporting us. It actually means a lot because this is, you know, the work that we're doing. And I keep on saying it to students, right? We're torchbearers.
Yeah.
You know, you're holding the candle and you're on point. And what you're doing is you're illuminating, you're walking through the darkness. You've made a decision to walk through the darkness. This is what dreams may come. Robin Williams walking through hell, right? Don't want to give the movie away. But you're walking through the darkness to illuminate the path for other people to follow. See, if you've been wondering what's your path, I've got to discover my path. I'm stuck. I don't know what my path is. Am I on the right path? If you've been that person, let me tell you why. Because you're the person that doesn't have a path. You're at your core, you're a torchbearer. You're the person that illuminates a path for someone else. See, if you're saying, I want to discover my path, What's the presupposition of the word path? What needs to have existed for a path to be there? Someone has already been there. So are you a follower or you're a path creator? Because if you're a path creator, you're a torchbearer. And this isn't for everyone, and it doesn't make you better or less than better. I don't want to say better or worse because that's an illusionary dichotomy. People say, what's the opposite of the rich? Poor. Why don't you say, well, opposite of the rich? Richer. It's an illusionary dichotomy. We're in this world to actually deal with the illusionary dichotomies that we created. You know, the Chiave came out of the Po and created the Big Bang Theory, and we created the dichotomies. I can go on. That's one of our classes. I drew the picture over there the other day. James, you're supposed to actually help me, like, just stick to 1 hour.
Well, I think what it shows is that we've got a lot more to share and we've
Yeah.
got a lot more to do, a lot more work to do, and we're just looking for people that are aligned with us so that we can actually make a difference. I think that's what's the most important thing.
And with my hand on heart, like if you've been that person, you feel, you know, what's my path? Perhaps there's no path for you. You're a path creator, you're a torchbearer. And so,
Come with us.
and if you're a torchbearer, you've got that the wounded healer archetype, you know. And if you want to be part of a community, let us know, because we want to work together as one, right? Together as one to be able to make a difference. And you know, 1 becomes 2, which becomes 4, which becomes 8, which becomes 16, which becomes 32, 64, and you know, and before you know it, we're making a dent into intergenerational mental health. We're making a dent into intergenerational depression, intergenerational anxiety, intergenerational, because that's what's being passed on right now to the next generations because of the people that haven't been able to deal with what's happened in their life just recently. So that, with a lot that's happened, that was the seed, the pebble in the ocean to create a tidal wave of depression. We got to meet that on the other side with another tidal wave of healing. We got to create a pebble on the opposite side. And do you understand quantum physics, right? If that pebble was in the ocean over here creating the field of depression, there's a pebble already on the other side creating the field of healing. You cannot have this problem without the solution already there, right? So I'm saying that if you've had a problem, if you had a challenge, the solution's already there. You just may be looking in the area that has only got you to emphasize the problem. And if this is part of the solution, you're getting it, join us. Let us know. And we'll let you know what we got on. Come and be part of some of the things that we do, some of the tutorials, some of the practice sessions, meet the community, learn from each other, heal with each other, and you'll know whether you're in the right place or not. Right? The right people. When they said then implies there's the wrong people. No. Yeah. So you keep on catching yourself out with this stuff, you know, and it's important because how many coaches have done this linguistic stuff and they not X themselves? They get on with their reels and say, here's what I do. Here's what I teach my kids not to do. And in the next breath, actually do, they say to everyone else exactly what they tell the kids not to say. I've done that. But I want to be conscious awareness is the first step, right? You don't know if you don't know. They call that ignorance is bliss. And some people live in that. You know, it's called the ostrich effect. Put your head in the sand, or the Acropolis now. You know, I can't see you, I can't hear you. Anyway, guys, again, this time we're going. Thank you so much. You know, it's been a big week. It's been a big year. And on a personal perspective too, I just want to say I've got an uncle that passed away recently. And I don't know if my cousins are watching, whatever the case is. I won't be there over the next couple of days, but my brother's turning up and my sister. But just for me, this is just for me, not for anyone else. It's just for me expressing that my thoughts are there. You know, the person that just would make everyone happy. When you went to their place, he would just do whatever you needed to make you happy. Everything was easy for them. It wasn't not a problem. It was absolutely too easy, and laugh about it, you know, and joke about it and make you feel good. He was that type of uncle. He was my dad's sister's husband. So I'm thinking of you, Uncle Ange.
Beautiful, brother.
See you later, guys. We will talk to you next time. Lot to come. So just Just get excited. Reach out. Let's connect. Let's have a chat. See ya.